Greetings everyone, I am RSV. Today's video is about the Golden Age of Kvaris. But before we talk about that, let me remind you to augment your unit set for Raid Your Gorge, as ancient enemies arrive in NGS in less than 12 hours. Let's get on with the video. First off, we know that Darkfalls is the entity responsible for freezing over all of Kvaris, and my guess is that Kvaris would have looked a lot like the Aleo region, because I mean, who chooses to settle in a tundra when Aleo is right there? So for this reason, I believe that Kvaris was likely a very tropical zone with plenty of farmable ground, and of course, forests and plainlands. Kvaris was also a very mountainous area and probably geologically active, as should be obvious by the hot springs. We can assume that this is because of the volcano right next to the Kvaris region, and we do know that the region is very mountainous because of the huge mountain behind Lost Central. I doubt all of that is just ice and snow, but you never know. But judging by the ruins, there was a proper city in Kvaris, and it was pretty far-reaching. It reached all the way to the Power Rangers house in South Kvaris, and even had some presence in Beluga Ruins and in North Kvaris. So Lost Central was no joke, and considering that the capital itself is buried underneath both North and West Kvaris, and probably a little bit of Central Kvaris as well, it really puts into perspective just how big Kvaris City was. And we know that the robot helpers that are around Kvaris today were in huge number back in the day, being like servants for all of the Kvarians. We can assume that the technology of this era was very, very high, partly due to the way Lost Central has formed, and due to what the Yellow Power Ranger has said. It's likely that the Kvarians had the technology to form a massive shield. The reason why I point this out is because it does look like Lost Central is a near perfect dome, and it's likely that this dome was breached by Darkfalls in certain areas, causing the mostly intact Lost Central to remain as it is. But of course, in the end it was destroyed and no one could inhabit it anymore. Though I think it's now safe to assume though that Aleo Tower is not a colony ship, unless a colony ship landed in Aleo and also landed in Kvaris. My reasoning for this is these towers are identical, though I guess you could make the argument that they are colony ships because they look the same, being that why would you rebuild the same tower elsewhere when the tower that you built in the first place got destroyed? Isn't it a bad omen or what have you? It's hard to say if that would influence the design of the building or not, though, in the Pso2 universe, as most buildings do look fairly similar in at least shape, though Rotom has shown us that there is a unique art style, and that the region has its own style. So the fact that the Kvaris Lost Central Tower is pretty much the same as the Aleo one, that there's some deeper meaning there. Though it's probably near impossible to work out what the native fauna of the Kvaris region looked like before this happened, as whatever the Darkfalls has done probably caused the region's fauna to mutate in certain ways. Though based on the fact that there are now ice rock bears in the region, it is possible that it looked a lot more like the Aleo region, with certain odd animals like mammoths. But Kvaris would have been a sprawling city, crossing multiple zones, pretty much just consuming the entire central and eastern sides of Kvaris. It's amazing to think that such a expansive city came to ruin. I've been RSV, and I'll see you next time.